of my films that I really felt like, I saw a screener go out, I saw the screenplay go out in that, special binding. But it wasn't until I got kind of behind the curtain with Loving that I realized just how far away all my other films were from ever being considered in that world, and that was illuminating for a lot of reasons. I think, you're being disingenuous if you're not flattered to be included. There definitely is a business aspect to it. That was part of the learning curve. Like, who's getting paid here, and how does this work out in terms of, it's an extension of advertising, obviously, and I think I understood that going in, but seeing it up close was really a bit of a learning experience. But Rick nailed it on the head. I mean, you do anything for your movie. You've spent years creating this thing, and in the situation with Loving, I just wanted people to know about Richard and Mildred. So send me anywhere you want to send me, and I'll talk about it. And hopefully it makes a difference, because you do realize when people are watching the Oscars just how many eyes are on our industry and are on these films, and it's worth however much your distributors putting into that campaign.
Tye, from these incredible films and working with Jeff and these great indie films, but now you're in a Spielberg movie, right? Could you tell folks a little about what that movie is? And when does that do? Is that due this year?
What's that?
Is that film due out this year?
It comes out March 2018.
Okay, 1 more year away.
Yeah, they got a lot of visual effects.
You're not really in the movie; they're just going to put you in.
Yeah, they use they put polka dots on my face, and when you do motion capture, you actually probably won't even be able to recognize me. That's probably the truth. It's everyone's dream come true if you work in film, to work with that man. And
is it strange when you work on a lean and mean, tight little budget movie to work on a film that has a production budget well over $100 million?
Yeah, but the heart's still there. Or was on this one. I haven't done too many of those big budget films, and I think this one for me was I'm not sure how many people are familiar with the film. It's called Ready Player One. It's based on a novel. It's a sci-fi novel. The novelist lives here in Austin. His name is Ernest Cline. And movie's about VR, and it's set in the near future. And when I read it, I just thought, wow, it's such an honest depiction of where we're headed in our world, I think, and with technology and with kids that are playing video games and that social world. It was, everybody was so passionate, and working with that guy, I don't think I've ever, no offense, Jeff or Sarah, but I don't think I've ever learned as much as I did on that film about filmmaking. And, frankly, I was asking a lot of questions and working with, the best of the best, but it was it was the best experience.
Extraordinary documentaries, extraordinarily valuable. Has this gotten to be easier with your reputation and your success? Is it as hard as it always was? Where is it at today for what you do?
Well, it's as hard as it's always been from the beginning. Half my time is spent raising money to do these documentaries. But I think that this is, for the first year, the 17th Texas Film Hall of Fame Awards, the documentary category will be considered. And I think it's about time. I think it's great. Because not only is Austin a feature film center, but we have a lot of great documentaries coming out of here.
Yeah.
A lot of great work has been here. When I got to Austin, back to Austin, I'm originally from San Angelo, from Boston, where I was living, working with the late, great Jessica Savage. A lot of young people here probably don't know who she is, but she was one of the first television anchors, female anchors in America on NBC. She died in a terrible accident, car crash. Her and Barbara Walters were really the only two. But when I came back in '84, there was hardly any documentary going on in town. I think somebody was doing a movie called Red-Headed Stranger at the time. But and Louis Black used to refer to me as a godfather because there was nobody doing documentaries. But now it's just completely changed. And you know, technology has changed. Platforms have changed. There's a lot more places to put work on. And we were just talking this morning, I mean, you look at Amazon and Netflix, and PBS is not the only place really anymore for the genre.
I think that if, again, theory, someone looks at your career working with Terry, they think, wow, this is one of the world's, you know, absolute greatest directors. Everyone knows it. He is working again after he took a long time off, and he's just been working constantly. You're in this rarefied world where it must be easy.
It's a trick question, right?
So, is your calendar always full, or is it reinventing from the ground up each time you start a new project?
No, my calendar's definitely not always full. I've got to agree with Tye and his idea that it's really about story, and it's about filmmakers, and it's about the people you want to be working with and the stories you want to be telling, and that's what really motivates me to get out there. And what I discovered quite early on, very early as I was sort of training to be a producer under Maggie Renzi, is that I could only sell films. I was only successful at pitching and selling and raising the money if I was super passionate about the idea and the filmmakers, and I believed in it, and I knew I could accomplish it. All those things had to be together for me to be a successful producer. And the minute I tried to short step that and just say, you know, this looks like a moneymaker, I should just do that quickly, or what?
Never works.
No, that doesn't work.
Continuum, better, worse, the same. From the point you started your career as a producer to today, for other women, is it a better world in film? Are there more opportunities? Are there less barriers?
It's a really tough question. It's never as easy. It's certainly in the higher echelons of the money circles in Hollywood. It's a very male game, no question about it. On the other hand, everybody has to fight to get what they get, and I just fight as hard, you know. So, I grew up. I was very lucky. I grew up in a very feminist circle, and I never felt held back at all by my gender, but I see it all the time, and I see it. I know if I were trying to be a director of a action movie, I'd have a pretty tough time of it. And it's our responsibility as producers, and as studios' responsibility as financiers, and everyone's responsibility to making sure that all voices are heard from, whether it's people of color, whether it's different genders, whatever those stories are, we need to be telling them all, and we need to pay a lot more attention to make sure that we are training those people, and that we are giving opportunities, and that we're not just going for the guy that looks like the last guy, you know? So that's a very mushy answer. I'm all over the board on it, as you can see, but I feel passionately about it, and I don't feel held back by it.